If you're interested in learning more about BetAngel, its tools and the opportunities they present, then why not visit betangel.com today and download a free trial.
So here's an interesting trade that I did this week, amongst many. But the interesting thing about this trade is it's something that I like to do often. So we're having a look at charts here and saying, that's gone out. And look at the second, and that's sort of, there doesn't seem to be any trend there. And here, a couple of spikes. So we're just trying to get a feel for what we're seeing in the market and how the market's developing. And then we have a look at Suffragette City here, and you can see it's being backed in heavily. Now, you can see my attention is drawn to Suffragette City almost immediately. And what I'm looking at here is I'm going to intensely watch the activity in the market at this particular point, because typically prices don't go in one direction only. They tend to move around a bit. So you can see here we've seen a bit of a bounce from 5-6 up to 6. So again, I'm watching here and I'm beginning to think about lining up a trade here. And typically when we see activity like this, I'm looking down at the bottom end of this traded range and thinking, is this going to push lower? And based upon what I feel in the market and what I can see in terms of activity, you can see it's already been down there and touched it and it bounced. So if it comes down here again, I'm looking to see if it stops at that point and if the backing just dries up, which appears to be what's happening. I'm just checking the chart again here. So if you look down here, can you see the price has come in, bounced out, come in, and it's right at that point again now. So I'm thinking, okay, there's an opportunity for a trade here. It's a little bit of money touched at 5.5, but it never went any lower. So I'm looking to establish a position at or around this point. Now, obviously, you need to be confident that it's not going to get blasted off the charts at the bottom here. But if you're looking at all the other runners and taking into account all of the information, then you can make a little bit of money. Some of this is down to how long you've got left. So we've got about a minute left here. But this has been backed in heavily. There's some money sat there at 5.5. This has been backed heavily for most of the duration of the market. So I'm looking here for people to start taking out their positions, and that will inevitably push the price back up again. So if we sit here and be patient, we're going to see if it goes below 5 now. And you can see that money's vanished from there, so we're keeping a really close eye on this now. And you see it touched 5, but it never went below 5. And we're into the last minute now. I'm having a look over here at the favourite. And what's going on over there. Just centralize the ladder, which means I'm usually getting ready to trade. And I'm just looking for that little bit of upward momentum. I'm looking for signs that because it's been backed in heavily and we're onto this race late, that we're going to get a little bounce back just before the start of the race here. So you can see how much care and attention I'm paying in terms of getting involved here. It's important to note here that the race is off late as well. So hopefully that will fill in a bit more of the puzzle for you. But I'm just looking for evidence here that it's not going to go any lower, and that in fact the money's going to start coming for something else. So you can see my confidence here is geared specifically to the level of activity that we're seeing on this particular runner. I'm waiting to see what happens when it gets matched at 5. Is it going to push down towards 4? Or are we going to see no sign of that and the price heading back in the other direction? So you can see I've just put my first order in the market, 256 quid. A little bit of money back to the game, but can you see that money at 5? And there's a little surge back. So I'm looking around here and thinking, well, okay, this is probably about the level at which I would expect it to go up to with the amount of time that we've got left available to us. But a big slug of money at 5, it's never traded below 5. So I'm framing it as though that's my opportunity there. That's the potential downside that I'm looking at, and I just want to catch a little bounce off the bottom here. Money's evaporated at 5.3. We don't need much more to get it to our target price there. We do need a little bit of a move here. So you can see already I've spent most of my time on this video just trying to carefully assess what's going on in this market and where the floor is. And as soon as I felt that the floor had been reached, that's when I jumped in. So it's just a question now of waiting, and you can see the amount of time on the clock, just a question of waiting for these positions to get touched. There we go. We are now at the point at which I was anticipating we would exit. So we just have to manage this position now. You can see on the video it's unlikely that it would go back down to 5 at this particular point. Not impossible, nothing's impossible of course. You can just see we're beginning to get matched here at 5.5. Now because we're past post, a lot of the liquidity has dried up, so it'd be very easy for me to dump these positions, but I wouldn't get the best out of this trade, so I'm just sat there patiently waiting for the orders to fill. And sometimes that can be a little annoying. But you can see here that the push is continuing. More money's getting taken at 5.4. All we need is for it to sit at 5.5 for any length of time, and that money there will start to get taken. There's only 145 below us. Can be a bit frustrating. But the liquidity tends to rise towards post time, and then it tails off dramatically after post. So this isn't unusual activity for a market that is going to start a little bit late. So frustratingly, we still haven't been matched, and there we go. And now we've just got to wait and see if the money gets matched at 5.6. It's getting a bit painful now. So you can see I'm looking here to split up the order to make sure that, and you know, a bit of luck, a little bit of luck there. But we could tell that the pressure was heading in that direction, and as we've got closer to post, the impetus for people to take out positions on this thing that had been moving in fairly consistently for a long period of time was quite high, and that's effectively what we were looking for. We were looking for people just to take out that position, and you know, if they've had a decent trade or whatever, it was a good opportunity for them to be able to take that position and reverse it back into the market. And you can see here the chart and basically what we exploited. Very slight but a successful trade.